A warm welcome to the news on Hope Channel Zambia television that changes lives. Headlines in our news today: Acting Labour Minister describes child labour as a global concern. Katuba residents demand relocation of concrete premix company from residential area. Government Chief Whip says hate speech among members of parliament has potential to divide the nation. Traditional and religious marriage counsellors uphold law on spouse privacy. And the Adventist World Church has maintained its stance against LGBTQ. I have details of these stories plus more coming up shortly. Just stay with us.
My wife, bumper harvest. Eh?
Daddy,
I'm telling you.
your new fertilizer. Niamini.
Eh?
Iye daddy
Tell you.
Hello. My instructions. Maya kunkabuno bwino mwamene.
I went to ETG, and now we are enjoying the benefits of using a blended D-compound fertilizer as basil and Kinoplus as top-dressing fertilizer instead of urea that we used last year. Now look here. This year, it has given me 4 tons. 4 tons. But last year, it was only 1.8 tons. Kinoplus has given all my crops the nitrogen that I paid for. Wow. It has saved me money. Telling you.
Understanding the difference between soil and crop-specific fertilizers, therein lies strength for Kinoplus blended fertilizers. More value in a bag. Available in the ETG depots countrywide, with a network providing agronomy services to farmers across the country. Kinoplus. Enhanced efficiency through innovation. A product of ETG.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Bright SINKOZI with the details. My sign language interpreter is George KALIMUKWA. The details: Acting Minister of Labour and Social Security Nzovu has described child labour as a global concern which is a danger to any child's development. Speaking when he officiated at this year's World Day Against Child Labour under the theme Social Justice for All, End Child Abuse, the minister said this year's theme emphasizes on the equal rights and opportunities for all regardless of their status in society. Mr. Nzovu said the Ministry of Labour and Social Security is working on the second National Action Plan for the elimination of worst forms of child labour. He further said one of the priorities in the National Action Plan is to increase access to education, enrollment and retention of children in schools. Leandro Ngandu has more in this report.
So in 2016, we embarked on a pilot project. And
Acting Minister of Labour and Social Security, Honorable Engineer Nzovu, officiated this year's commemoration of the World Day Against Child Labour, which occurs on the 12th of June every year. The event was commemorated under the theme Social Justice for All, End Child Abuse, and the minister gave an emphasis on the theme.
It is therefore my honor and privilege to officiate at this year's commemoration of the World Day Against Child Labour, which falls on the 4th of June of every year. The World Day Against Child Labour for the year 2023 is being commemorated under the theme Social Justice for All, End Child Labour. This theme places emphasis on equal rights and opportunities for all, regardless of their social, political, and economic status. For the parents, it means they must have access to economic opportunities, such as decent jobs, support in their entrepreneurial efforts, and other means of improving their livelihoods. In this way, they will be able to cater adequately for their families, hence remove the need for their children to engage in gainful employment. For the children, the theme stresses the need for them to enjoy their rights to education and that other social amenities that otherwise will not be available to them if they continue working as child laborers. The theme also helps us showcase how government, together with its stakeholders, are fighting the scourge by addressing various causes such as poverty, poor employment practices by some employers, and lack of awareness by the citizenry on the dangers of child labor. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, child labor is detrimental to a child's development and is a global concern.
He said his ministry is working towards implementation of the second National Action Plan. Mr. Nzovu said the community committees must ensure that the community members are educated on how to identify child labor cases.
Child labor committees in various districts across the country, communities have been educated on how to identify child labor cases, and community members have been sensitized on the dangers of involving children in child labor. These efforts have led to the identification and withdrawal of children in target households and communities, and these children have been enrolled back in schools. What a good way of doing it, what with the free education we've introduced.
He added that CDF has supported the vulnerable families and children in the elimination of child labor, as children are now being supported by the government through bursaries.
Further, the ongoing upgrading of school infrastructure through the increased CDF has contributed to increasing access to education.
He said the new Dawn government is critical in fighting poverty, which is a major risk factor for child labor. Luyandongandu, Hope Channel News in Lusaka.
Now, Smart Zambia has rolled out an electronic training program that will enhance transparency in procurement process in government institutions. Speaking at the official opening of the training, Smart Zambia Director General Aida Chela said the pilot project was introduced on 8th July 2016 at a launch that was officiated by the then Vice President Inonge Wina. She said the new program will help curb corruption among the users and will enhance trust. And Government Digital Services Director Mulombaha Major says the program is user-friendly to anyone who owns a smartphone. He further said that the old system lacked transparency. Meboch Timbiti has more.
So in 2016, we embarked on a pilot project, and later we started graduating, like we started rolling it out to the institutions. I must say that there are about 578 procuring entities dotted around Zambia. When you're doing something online, it's easier for everybody to get it at the same time. Then there was also, the biggest thing was that there was lack of transparency because, like we were saying, face to face, you don't know what is happening behind the scene, but this was to enhance transparency. As you know, that is one of our core things at Zambia Public Procurement Authority, it's transparency and accountability.
There will be available online a training that will take care of each of the persona. When I say persona, it's the person that is dealing with a particular area of the system, so that it is clear, even for those that are not here, we can all be at the same page. Technology can help us ensure that training is met. One thing I like about this system is that it's very user-friendly. The final product is user-friendly, meaning anyone who can use a basic smartphone can use the EGP system.
Residents of Katuba constituents in Chunga ward have called on government to permanently suspend the operations of Bai Gu Premix Concrete Company Limited, citing that the company has been emitting fumes in the atmosphere causing respiratory illnesses among residents. The Chinese company, located in the residential area of Katuba's Chunga ward, has been operational for the past 6 years and, according to residents, has deteriorated the environment among other challenges that residents raised. The residents are therefore calling on government to relocate the firm to industrial areas, as this could be the only lasting solution for the problems the company has caused. Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA, has since halted the operations but has not given a final verdict. Efforts to reach the Baigu Premix Concrete Company Limited manager proved futile as he fled the scene upon the arrival of the media. Mwene Muyanga has more in this report.
These are residents of Katuba constituency in Chunga ward who for the past 6 years say have suffered respiratory illnesses as a result of fumes that have been continuously emitted in the air by Baigu Premix Concrete Company Limited, which has been operating right in their residence. The residents also say Baigu Premix Concrete Company Limited has caused land deterioration. The residents told the media that they have been in contact with ZEMA, which has only halted the works of the company, but what they want is the company to entirely cease its works and find a suitable location.
As a community, we want nothing else but just this factory to be relocated, because clearly these people have got no regard for human life. Yeah, on several occasions, this wall fence has broken down and collapsed. Worse off, especially in rain season, it damaged a lot of fields. Water went into people's homes. People lost a lot of things. We tried to have an audience with the Chinese, but unfortunately, I don't know whether it's a communication issue or what, but even then, you expect, as investors, to give a listening ear to the community.
Everything has just been affected. You can also see the other side, the grass, nothing grows. Dust settles here. When the wind blows also, which it still comes back in the house. You can look at my window sills behind there, everything is white.
Meanwhile, a retired officer who is also a resident in the area says people are left with no option but to go for costly medical checkups as a result of harmful waste from the Baigu Premix Company Limited.
Respiratory diseases. Silicosis, the miners who work in industries like this, they are subjected to periodic examinations. And who's going to pay for that examination for us to go for those silicosis examinations? And medical issues are now expensive.
Local authorities have confirmed the allegations and admit that Baigu Premix Company Limited is a threat to the health of the residents.
From the complaints that we have within the community, and especially those people that are affected, and looking at the health itself, surely it's affecting them. And we were just asking for those from a higher authority so that they can come in and try to help. If those are Chinese, maybe they can be shifted to other places.
Efforts to reach the director of Baigu Premix Company Limited were in vain as he fled the scene upon the arrival of the media. Mwene Muyanga, Hope News, Lusaka.
We take our commercial break, and when we return, we have more other stories. Do stay with us.
There is nothing quite like the thrill of catching your own fish. And at Papino Investments, we bring that experience to you. Papino Investments, the home of live fish, has everything you need to make your meals unforgettable.
It has a different taste, and that is why I enjoy coming to this place.
From live fish that you can catch for yourself to smoked fish, just chickens and beef, we have a wide range of products that will satisfy your shopping needs. And if you're looking for something else, we have a wide range of groceries to choose from, including Hope Channel decorders. At Papino Investments, pay Payment is easy. You can pay with cash or use our mobile money services. Visit us today at Robert's Fish and Veggies Building, Chilenge Market, Lusaka, or call us at 0955 108708 or 0976 543822 or 0965 691909. Papino Investments, the home of live fish.
Ignite your June with Topstar. Catch the best of Chipolopolo, series plus many more for only 160 kwacha. Antenna Classic or Dish Smart. Witness Zambia's Chipolopolo senior team host the Elephants of Ivory Coast on the 17th of June at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in the crucial AFCON qualification match, live at 15 hours on World Football. On the same day, don't miss the must-watch Lesotho versus Comoros, live at 16 hours on Sports Live. And all the other CAF AFCON 2023 qualifiers from the 14th to the 20th of June on ST Sports channels. There is more. Continue to follow the best of series daily on Novella E+, and don't miss the premiere of the new Thai series, The Wife, on the 24th of June, every day at 2040 hours, plus all the latest of Indian movies and series. Subscribe now. Topstar. Enjoy digital life.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. We continue with the news. The Ministry of Agriculture in Southern Province has eulogized former Principal Agricultural Officer, the late Samuel Mukelabai, for his steadfast role in efficient extension service delivery to farmers. Southern Province Agricultural Coordinator Dr. Max Jombe says the late Mr. Mukelabai joined the Ministry of Agriculture in 1984 and retired in 2013, having served the civil service for 29 years. Dr. Jombe further described the late Mr. Mukelabai as an asset in the agricultural sector who was knowledgeable in his profession and was consulted by the ministry even after his retirement in 2013. And Dairy Association of Zambia Regional Food Facilitator Mutinta Kabereka said the late Mr. Mukelabai was instrumental in ensuring that the Choma Daily Cooperative accessed daily animals from Zambia Daily Agribusiness Trade Project when he served as chairperson of the cooperative. NICE has more in this report.
The Ministry of Agriculture in Southern Province has eulogized former Principal Agricultural Officer, the late Samuel Mukelabai, for his steadfast role in efficient extension service delivery to farmers. Southern Province Agriculture Coordinator Dr. Max Jombe says the late Mr. Mukelabai joined the Ministry of Agriculture in 1984 and retired in 2013, having served the civil service for 29 years. Dr. Jombe further described the late Mr. Mukelabai as an asset in the agricultural sector who was knowledgeable in his profession and was consulted even after his retirement in 2013.
We saw Mukelabai as a man who was very dedicated to his professional work, and also he was a man who was a peacemaker. Where there is conflict, you would see him smiling and resolving conflict.
And Dairy Association of Zambia Regional Food Facilitator Mutinta Kabereka said the late Mr. Mukelabai was instrumental in ensuring that the Choma Dairy Cooperative accessed dairy animals from the Zambia Dairy Agribusiness Trade Project when he served as chairperson for the cooperative.
He was so passionate about the dairy and for the dairy farmers, and that's why we see that the dairy farmers at Choma Dairy were able to receive the dairy cows from ZATIP, Zambia Dairy Agribusiness Trade Project.
Meanwhile, speaking on behalf of the family for the deceased, Josephine Nyambe said the late Mr. Mukelabai moved into consultants in the agricultural sector upon his retirement. Mrs. Nyambe said the late Mr. Mukelabai was born in 1958 in Mkola village in Kalabo district and was buried at his farm in Harmony in Choma.
Kwalombota Mukelabai was born on the 3rd of January 1958 in Mukola village of Kalabo district in the Western Province.
Reporting, Lawrence Kabutu in Choma, Southern Province.
Government Chief Whip Stafford Mulusa says the continued hate speech from among some members of parliament has potential to divide the country. Mr. Mulusa said most members of parliament, especially those from the opposition, have used tribal and hate remarks to hide from the law, and that they have continued on this trajectory only because government has been silent on their misconduct in spreading words of violence, hurt, and tribalism. The Chief Whip has, however, said the law applies to everyone and is working independently to make sure that all offenders are brought to book regardless of their political affiliation. Mr. Mulusa has advised the opposition not to accuse the police of being tribal when arresting offenders, but that they should learn to abide by the law and respect the constitution of the land.
Government Chief Whip Honorable Stafford Mulusa warned and cautioned members of parliament, especially those belonging to the opposition, to desist from using hate and tribal speech to hide from their crimes and the law visiting them, as this may cause division in the country. He was speaking during a media briefing at Parliament House today.
I want to advise our colleagues, especially those in the opposition, not to take advantage of the silence that we have given them. I want to advise them to desist from hate speech, tribalism. There's a new term now under this government. You break the law, you are on your own. You are on your own. Don't use tribalism, hate speech to hide in your wrong deeds. Face the law. It has happened before in this country. We are a multi-party democracy. We have the law enforcement agencies. Under this government, they are working independently with no influence. Now, there is an issue of members of parliament who are claiming that before they are arrested, the speaker, the government chief whip, must be notified. I don't think that is true. I don't think that is true. Whereas it is very important on police service of this republic. And Zambia is a unitary state. All the tribes are there in the police service.
Meanwhile, Honorable Minister Mubita Anakonka also said that the law is blind to individual discrimination and that the opposition should not incite it. Before the UPND came in to form
that the law under the new Dawn government is completely blind to the status, political position, tribal, language, or any other thing that an individual may lay a claim to. It only sees wrongdoing and therefore follows wrongdoers. We belong to particular tribes, therefore they are pursuing cases that are also influenced by tribal motives.
PF economically. The PF were a disaster. I want to talk about a few things. When we say PF were a disaster, we are not just talking from hearsay or from without. We want to talk facts. Number one, me, I hail from, I've spent most of my life on the Copper Belt. Today, you go to Ndola, go to Kitwe, go to Chambishi. It's a sorry sight. When PF got in government in 2011, they found Zambia was producing about 800,000 tons of copper. As we are speaking today, we are not able to produce the 800,000. Now, we are struggling to even reach the target that we had 10, 11, 12 years ago.
And independent member of parliament for Chasefu constituency has, however, appreciated President Hakainde Hichilema and the New Dawn government for creating a good working relationship between the president and independent members of parliament.
President Hakainde Hichilema, I want to state this. Can you ask a few, very few members of parliament, all of us as independents? He extended an olive hand. He called us. Engage me on anything that affects your area. I want to work with you. The president has demonstrated. If what I'm saying here, so we should engage. As we engage government, we must be positive. But to insinuate or impute that there is ethnic cleansing, that is too strong and too much, that we should not entertain. Because the moment we go in this trajectory, people will start believing. Me as a member of parliament, I should not hide in the veil of a member of parliament. I'm a human being when I go back there. And when I leave this position, what value did I add to this country? If I did something wrong, we must set a precedence. We cannot celebrate people who break the law. We cannot celebrate people who amassed wealth and explained wealth. My heart bleeds. People were burning money in this country. Is that what we want? Now we have a government that is prudent. It wants to see these resources being utilized properly. We must encourage them. Only the wrong things that the government could be doing, let us raise a flag. Here you are not okay for the betterment of this country.
Pop News, Rejoice Mukoma.
Now, Zambia Information and Communication Technology Authority, ZICTA, has noted that it is illegal for spouses to spy on each other's phones without consent. ZICTA Public Relations Manager Hanford Jaba says invading someone's privacy is an offense and liable to prosecution, including for married couples. Esnat Skazo gives us details.
Communication is the exchange of information by speaking, writing, or using other medium. With the advancement of technology, phones have proved to be one of the easy and quickest medium of communicating. Although in some homes, phones have brought chaos between couples, leading them to separate depending on the matter at hand. But for the clergy, feels there is need for couples to agree if a spouse can use or touch one's phone.
Phones have brought a lot of havoc in many homes. The stance of ZICTA that tampering with someone's phone, it makes you liable for prosecution. That is their position. We respect that position. But what I would say myself with this position in regards to marriage, there are two extremes that you will find with this position. One, those who are mischievous are very excited that ZICTA has a position that you cannot touch your spouse's phone. They will be very happy. At the same time, those who are innocent, touching their phones doesn't break anything. However, someone is bound to think, we are one flesh. Why should the husband fear to touch the wife's phone? And why should the wife fear to peruse the husband's phone? Yes, you are one flesh, but if phones will become a source of contention to each other, then it's better the two of you agree as to how you want to use your gadgets.
And a renowned traditional marriage counselor recalls some of the misunderstandings some couples are encountering with regards to phones.
Quite a lot, and some of them very, very funny. For instance, I've had discussions where someone finds a message in someone's phone saying, I hope you traveled well. And then the other one says, thank you, I did, and I enjoyed myself. But when you follow these messages, you realize that someone is saying, I am not aware. The other one, very funny, this is where I'm wearing an attire of a girlfriend. And so because we thought we were hiding, someone gets a picture of me in the attire of the girlfriend, and the girlfriend in my attire. Some spouses are kind enough to accept the wrong, but others would want to die with a no, and the end result is that we are blaming a gadget. The problem is not the gadget, the problem is your heart and your mind. What is it telling you about the phone?
They have a word for couples.
If it's not your property, you have no right to it. And you are one flesh. And they say nothing should put you asunder. So you need just to put a good balance. If the phone will be a source of contention between husband and wife, you will have to make a decision, the two of you.
According to Zambia Information and Communication Technology Authority, ZICTA, says it is illegal for spouses to use each other's phones without consent. Invading in someone's privacy is an offense and is liable to prosecution. Esnat SINKOZI, Hope News, Lusaka.
And finally, the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church has maintained its position against the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer issues, LGBTQ. In a statement released to the public by the General Conference, the SDA Church world over affirms the voted statements on human sexuality, homosexuality, and transgenderism. According to the statement, the Seventh-day Adventist Church does not support, endorse, or condone activities that seek to promote human sexuality behaviors not in accordance with the Word of God. The statement released on 11th of June 2023 further says the General Conference and its divisions will continue to work with the various levels of the church structure to resolve the issues emerging from locally sponsored activities while maintaining Christ-like love and compassion for all people. The reinforcement came after some local churches in the Western world started to condone LGBTQ in their congregations. This year, in March, social media was set ablaze when a foundation in Zambia started publicly campaigning for LGBTQ rights in the country, which is against the law. Mwenemuyanga gives us an analysis and report on what the church stands for.
Early in March this year, social media was set ablaze as many Zambians showed displeasure over a non-governmental organization called Sister Foundation, which was campaigning publicly in support of gay and lesbian rights in Zambia. LGBTQ has raised a lot of public debate as it encourages a lot of unnatural relations and goes against different cultural and religious beliefs. The Seventh-day Adventist Church world over has always had a clear position on this matter, as it also concerns or may affect members of the church. According to a statement released by the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church yesterday, 11th June, the Seventh-day Adventist Church does not support, endorse, or condone activities that seek to promote human sexuality behavior not in accordance with God's word. Section 155 and 157 of the Zambian Penal Code Chapter 87 criminalize any form of consensual same-sex conduct in private between consenting adults, providing for the possibility of imprisonment from both religious and civic laws stand as a safeguard against LGBTQ in the country. Mwenemuyanga, Hope News, Lusaka.
As we end the bulletin, let's recap on stories that made headlines Acting Labour Minister describes child labour as a global concern. Katuba residents demand relocation of concrete premix company from residential area. Government Chief Whip says hate speech among members of parliament has potential to divide the country. Traditional and religious marriage counsellors uphold law on spouse privacy, and the Adventist World Church maintains stance against LGBTQ. I'm Bright SINKOZI on behalf of the entire studio and production team, not forgetting our correspondents across the country. George KALIMUKWA was on sign language. Until next time, God bless and bye for now.